So for every best of, you know there's gonna have to be a worst. Because some jackass had to put a turd in the punch bowl. And we had a few turds in 2017. This is gonna be my worst stuff, or worst movies for 2017. Maybe you like them a little more than I did, but I really hated these bastards. So hope you guys enjoy.
In all things, there has to be balance. You have black and white, yin and yang, peanut butter and jelly. So, of course, if there's going to be a best of 2017, there's going to be a worst as well. And in a year filled with great films, we got some stinkers like The Bye Bye Man, Triple X Part 3, and Power Rangers, which I guess maybe wasn't that bad, but I'm sorry, it's going on my list. So for my worst of 2017, I shoveled through the crap and I found the five films that really disappointed me, and not so much disappointed for some of them as I just think, why were they even made? So for my number five, I have Alien Covenant. This is a movie that promised us that it would get back to what made Alien and Aliens so good. That's excellent characters that you could root for, and of course, badass aliens and action sequences. Except here, what I got was some kind of mishmash between Prometheus, which I actually liked. I don't think it's that bad a movie, and trying way too hard to be James Cameron Aliens. It was just terribly executed, in my opinion. This is a movie that is supposed to be following a group of people. Let's say it's kind of like Noah's Ark. You know, it's a bunch of couples that are looking for a new place to call home. And instead of doing what they're supposed to do, they end up going to they end up getting like knocked off course or some kind of craziness like that, and they end up having to go to a planet where David is. Now David is from Prometheus. David is the android who's kind of insane, let's face it, and he's trying to create his own beings, perfect beings using the aliens, the symbiotes, or whatever you want to call them. This movie is just disappointing all across the board. It had so much promise to it because you had a group of characters that I think could have been like the characters in the first Aliens if we had spent any time with them. Instead, these couples are thrown on us. We have no character development, so when they die, you really don't give a shit. You have aliens that were, while I don't really have an issue with CGI when it's used properly, the CGI here just did not make them feel as terrifying as the original practical effects versions. And the only good thing about this movie is Michael Fassbender as David and his counterpart, whose name I can't remember right now. Right? That's the only thing in this movie that works is when he's on screen. Our lead, poor woman Sigourney Weaver, she just doesn't work for me at all. She is there, but there's no real development in these characters, in their relationships, for us to get invested to anything that's happening to them. So the movie just feels like it was a bunch of ideas that was thrown together and just poorly executed. I can understand why they're thinking of canceling the franchise. I don't think they'll drop it altogether, but a reboot might be in order. Sadly, I don't think we need one, but Alien Covenant was a letdown for me. My number four would be Baywatch. Baywatch is a movie that was supposed to be like 21 Jump Street, which was supposed to make fun of itself, but ended up being this weird mishmash action crap that was full of terrible jokes, horrible sequences that just did not work well together, poor editing. And don't get me started on the special effects. I mean, guys, did you see the fire? Did you see the action sequence with the fire? I mean, I've seen more realistic fire on sci-fi of movies of the week. That was just terrible. I don't even know how The Rock, if, maybe he didn't see the finished product. I don't know why would he agree to anything like that, having his name on it. But Baywatch just turned out to be a joke and not a good one. So it definitely is going to make the worst of on a lot of people's list. My number three. The Mummy. Oh boy. Now, the Dark Universe is something that Universal Studios has been trying to launch for some time now. They started with Dracula, and I actually don't mind that movie, but I might be biased because I happen to think Luke Evans is so much hotness. But the Mummy, they said, okay, no, we're gonna kill it. We're gonna start it with the Mummy, and instead of giving us something as fun as Stephen Sommers' film, this movie had some good ideas. I did like what they were doing with the mummy, but Tom Cruise's character is so unlikable that you kind of just want him to die the entire film. The female lead is not developed in any way other than to just be pretty. And the action sequences a CGI mess. They work sometimes, most times they don't. The last fight sequence just looks like something out of a video game and not a good one. And The Mummy is a failure for the Dark Universe. If they had just stuck with what made these movies work in the first place, if you go back to the original Universal films, what makes these movies work is spending time with these characters. And by the characters, I mean the actual monsters. What made them who they are? A lot of these characters are sympathetic. Their backstories are not just cut and dry. They're not just bad guys. And I think when they focused on, or if they had focused more on what was going on with the mummy, and then, developed strong characters, lead characters around that, this would have been much better because the horrific aspects of this movie actually worked for me. I liked when they went darker. I liked the horror elements of this film. But the other stuff just fell flat. And they were trying so hard to focus on building a franchise that they forgot to tell a story. So The Mummy is a failure, and who knows, they might reboot it again, or they might, let's see what they do with the next film, which I think is supposed to be Creature from the Black Lagoon or The Invisible Man. Maybe we'll get something better here. But this one, this one is a flop. And then we have my number two. And I don't even know why this movie was made. Well, the Lego movie, I mean, when we heard they were making a Lego movie, everybody's reaction was the same. How in the hell are you going to make a movie based on Lego pieces, on toy pieces? But you know what? It freaking worked. It's an amazing film. The first Lego movie, Lego Batman movie, these are strong, entertaining films that actually have a story to tell. So some idiot decided that, you know what? Why don't we do a movie about the emojis? Yes, those emojis, the ones that you find on your phone. And who thought this would work? I have no freaking idea. Angry Birds and all was more entertaining than this crap. The Emoji Movie is just a waste of time from beginning to end. It doesn't have a story to tell. It's trying to say that what everybody should be allowed to be individual, blah blah blah. But the whole point of an emoji is that's what you are. You're a happy face, you're a smiley face, you're an LOL, you're an eggplant, whatever, that's what you are. So how do you make a movie out of that? You don't. You really don't, and you shouldn't. Right? The person who came up with this crap should be fired. And I would be very disappointed to hear if this thing actually made a profit. And that brings me, guys, to my number one worst film of 2017. Transformers The Last Freaking Night. Oh my god, I hated this movie so much. And I have promised myself I will no longer watch Transformer movies. Even though I'm supposed to watch them, I'm supposed to watch them to review them, I ain't spending any money behind this franchise anymore. Transformers The Last Night was such an epic mess. They took the one character, Optimus Prime, who is supposed to be basically Superman in robot form. He's supposed to be hopeful, he's supposed to care about the world, he's supposed to be a strong, heroic figure, and they turn him into a villain. Okay, fine. Give us an arc. No, they don't. There's no arc. He's being controlled. Bumblebee says some words to him about them always being friends, and he turns back into a good guy. Right? There's no pay. There's no him paying for what he did. even though the knights, the so-called last knights, which are giant robots, are supposed to destroy him for what he's done, nothing happens. Then there's these so-called human characters. Say what you want about Shia LaBeouf, but I'm sorry, he made those first three movies entertaining. He was loud, he was funny, and he was entertaining. I enjoyed those first three films to varying degrees. I would say more like the first one and maybe the third one. But he made those movies work from a human side. There's none of that here. I don't know what Mark Wahlberg's purpose is. Anthony Hopkins must be had a car to pay off for or something, because I don't know what he's doing in this movie. Nobody works. Everything else is stupid. And then there's this kind of weird pedophilish thing that Michael Bay have with that little girl in this movie. The camera stays on that child way too long to the point where it feels very uncomfortable. Nothing in this movie works. I sat there in the cinema wishing I had a fast forward button to get through this crap that was over, it felt like 4 hours, but I guess it was 2.5 hours long, whatever. It was god awful. It was a slap in the face for anybody who truly enjoys this franchise. And I know there are probably people who go out and see these movies and feel like, I don't see what everybody's complaining about. It's awesome. And that's fine. No problem. Enjoy your movie. For me, this movie was an utter mess. I rated worse than the freaking Emoji Movie, and that should tell you how much I despise this film and how I've come to despise this franchise, which actually started off pretty fun but has turned into a god awful mess of nothing. So, Transformers The Last Night is my worst film for 2017. I feel better now. I feel good that I've gotten this off my chest. I'm looking forward to 2018, and I hope that 2018, movie wise and world wise, turns out to be a lot better than 2017. 2017, we actually had a lot of good films. I'm happy to say the good definitely outweighed the bad, and I hope that continues into 2018. So, Happy New Year, guys! Keep watching, and until next time, bye bye.